What is up? Hey guys. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday night, a rare Thursday night. Usually don't do the nights, but the last two nights I've done them, you guys have liked them. So I'm doing it again tonight. Easy tonight because I just got off the golf course and I'm home alone. So what do you do when you're home alone? Live stream. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. A lot of you did that yesterday. A lot of you did it the day before. So if you're new subscribers, great to have you. If you're listening to the podcast, which you can do, hey, YouTubers, you can check out the audio version of this show down in the description below. Hey, podcasters, listeners, ear people, you can watch this if you want by clicking on the YouTube link in the description of the podcast. Be great if you're listening on Apple Podcast to leave a review. In that review, leave a question. Leave a question, 5 stars and a question. Just got off the golf course. Oh, I mean, this time of year love it. I love it. Teed off at 4:30, finished at 7:30 p.m. Still plenty of sun. Plenty of sun. Bogeyed the par 6 18th. Missed a healthy putt, but had a shot. Missed a putt for 86. I'm not a very good golfer. 86 would have been a career high, a personal record, the best. I would have retired after 86, and I'm not retired. So here we are. A few things I want to talk about tonight. One is what Matt Mayoko said not once but twice this week. And a Justin Jefferson trade rumor, not from the Niners side, but from the Vikings side. And now that we're in the 40 days off for the 49ers, just a few of the questions that are rattling around my brain between now and now until the end. So I want to start with Mayoko. This was today. Now, Mayoko goes on local radio, KNBR, a couple of times a week, I think, or he did this week. I don't know. I'm not pocket watching Mayoko. And he went on with Greg Pop and John Lund earlier in the week and said, yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Brandon Aiyuk plays this year on his 5th-year option. Today, he went on KNBR again, and today I happen to have – the other day I didn't have the audio. Today I have the audio. So let's hear. This is Matt Mayoko, 49ers reporter, NBC Sports Bay Area. Dialed in, locked in, connected all day.
This one just feels a little bit different because, they've already paid.
Let me actually set this up to say, I just realized how it starts. He's talking about Bosa signed, Debo signed, like all these other guys have signed previously with the Niners. All right.
This one just feels a little bit different because, they've already paid all these guys, and at some point the money or the cap space just kind of runs out. And when you have a team full of really good players, teams can't keep everybody. And, you just kind of wonder what's going to happen with Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, do they really want to pay him the going rate for wide receivers, or do they think that maybe that money could be allocated in other areas? Bracing, I guess, for Brock Purdy's big contract. But, this offseason, they did re-sign Juwan Jennings to a 2-year deal. They did draft Ricky Pearsall in the first round, and they still have Deebo Samuel for this year and next year. So it'd just be really interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. And it's entirely possible that they don't sign him to a long-term contract and they let him play out the final year of his deal and then just kind of see where it goes from there. Maybe, kick the can down the road a little bit.
All right. So Mayoko says it's entirely possible that he plays this year on his 5th-year option. For those of you who are new here, you don't know this, but if you're not new, you know that shortly after the Super Bowl, I got to go check the exact date. I did a breakdown of a pie chart, the percentages, the most likely outcomes with Aiyuk. I had trade at 8% for this year. I think I had I think it was like 68%. The biggest percentage was playing the 5th year option. That hasn't happened yet, so I'm not taking credit. I just think an extension is still very likely. The 2 days after Justin Jefferson resets the receiver market is not the day that Brandon Aiyuk's going to get an extension. He's incentivized to get a deal done. They're incentivized to get a deal done as long as they like him, and I do think they like him. He makes the other players on their team better, in addition to being one of the best receivers in the league. He gets a lot of attention. I think people are looking at Ricky Pearsall, some are, and thinking, he's a replacement for Aiyuk. But to me, Ricky Pearsall's a worse player if Brandon Aiyuk's not on the field with him. Brandon Aiyuk being on the field with him makes him a better player. You know who shouldn't have wanted Justin Jefferson to get traded is Jordan Addison, unless they drafted Malik Neighbors. But anyway, you hear a lot of it. It doesn't mean it's what's going to happen, but you hear a lot of it not from just people chatting, but like from people like Matt. And as I've said, when I said that I thought he was going to play on his 5th year option, I wasn't guessing. I was making an educated prediction. So we'll see what happens. I think all that stuff's still on the table. I think it's all still on the table. The one thing Matt said there that I also wanted to address is, this idea that they have to, they may not be able to sign Brandon Aiyuk because they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. And obviously there's a real rub here. At some point, you're going to have all these expensive players, and they can't all fit under the salary cap, even though the salary cap is going up. Took a big jump because of it's tied directly to NFL revenues. NFL revenues take a big jump. Everybody gets interested because of Taylor Swift. And guess what? The salary cap takes a big jump. So the salary cap could take another big jump this year. Financial success, continued financial success on the horizon for the NFL, as long as none of the Packers or the Eagles get kidnapped in Brazil wearing green, then they'll be okay. Josh Jacobs said that. Josh Jacobs said that he's on the Packers now. And he said they told them, don't wear green. I thought it was like the national color in Brazil. I thought it was like green and yellow. They said, don't wear green. Gangs. And I'm, as Charles Haley once said in his Hall of Fame speech, all this shit's green. It's a great story. Go watch Charles Haley's Hall of Fame speech. He's talking about the time that Eddie DeBartolo took him golfing, and Charles drives his cart up on the green. And they said, hey, Charles, you can't park on the green. And Charles says, what are you talking about? All this shit's green. Anyway, great story. Blue and yellow? Oh, blue and yellow. Okay, my bad. Thank you, the Frankie, the Portuguese farmer. Well, there you go. Blue and yellow. I guess has Brazil not won a World Cup lately? Did they win the last one? It's been a few years. So here's what I want. I guess I'll get to the point. The day that they pay Brock Purdy hasn't come yet. So the day they pay Brock Purdy is the day that becomes a real problem. Right now is the beneficial time. Brock Purdy has not been paid yet. So since Brock Purdy has not been paid yet, I don't worry about Brandon Aiyuk's money this year. Right now, I think the Niners have proven to be excellent at managing their budget. The Christian McCaffrey extension, I think, will prove to be another great example of it. But I'm just not going to, and I don't think they will, make too many big decisions right now based on what Brock Purdy's going to make. You're trying to win the Super Bowl now, right? You're trying to win the Super Bowl now. And if you're trying to win the Super Bowl now and your quarterback is cheap now, then you do everything you can to take advantage of the fact that your quarterback is cheap now. You don't start worrying about it before you don't start worrying about it before he's done being cheap. Right now, Brock Purdy is cheap. So right now you do things that reflect the fact that your quarterback is cheap. It benefits you to have a cheap quarterback until you don't have a cheap quarterback. And right now the 49ers still have a cheap quarterback. John of Malta says, a comment, the market dictates Aiyuk's worth. Our collective opinion means nothing, with all due respect. Well, I mean, our collective opinion, it doesn't mean anything in terms of the negotiation, but the market's a little murky right now. Is Justin Jefferson the market, or is every single other receiver the market? You know, those are, I think right now, I still think every receiver is still the market, but that's not what his agent's going to argue. But this is not, we had 40 days now. There's no urgency here. We've seen this with some of these other deals. There's just not, you know, there's just not a lot of urgency right now. Somebody said in the comments, did you see Mike Silver said they offered him $26 million a year? No, is that true? I know Silver was on with Pop in London. Is this person in the, where'd you go in the comments? Jonas. Somebody sent me a link. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would, at some point, if you have offered him $26 million a year, to me, that makes plenty of sense. You know, there was the story the other day from Schefter that they called the Vikings about Justin Jefferson. They weren't the only ones that talked to the Vikings about trading for Justin Jefferson, which fine. If you think Justin Jefferson might be available, then you call the Vikings about Justin Jefferson. This is what Mike Florio wrote today. At one point before the draft, Justin Jefferson's camp believed the Vikings were, quote unquote, playing games with their most important player. Then there's the fact that more than a few people have said the Vikings were trying to trade up from 11 to 5 to draft LSU receiver Malik Neighbors. Too many people heard that for it to have been something that someone pulled out of thin air and or their ass. And what it makes you think is that the Niners calling the Vikings, as Schefter reported, that people talked, inquired about Justin Jefferson was not about the Niners blindly calling the Vikings, but the Niners going, have you guys heard? Like, Justin Jefferson's available. We should call about Justin Jefferson, right? I mean, this is the team that once called about Tom Brady. If you're going to call about Tom Brady, which they once did, then you definitely call about Justin Jefferson. Now, what would have been interesting is if the Vikings had said, yeah, he's available. Could the Niners have gotten him? Like, you're not, are you getting him for Aiyuk in a first? I don't think so, because then they got to turn around and pay Aiyuk. If you're in Minnesota, you want multiple ones. You want a way to get up to 5 to get Malik Neighbors in this case. So maybe you take a 1 and a future 1 and you use those to get up to 5. I don't know. And then the Niners turn around and maybe they try and recoup a 1 or a high 2 by trading Aiyuk. Would have been interesting. You would have done it if you could have. Although I don't think anybody should be heartbroken about not paying Justin Jefferson money, because I don't think Brandon Aiyuk's getting that money. You know, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think the Niners will pay him that this year. Now, maybe he plays on a 5th-year option. I mean, you know, this idea of a holdout, it's more likely that he plays on a 5th-year option than doesn't play, right? Because you have to play. If he's not showing up early, if he's not showing up late, will they take a lesser trade? Really not any incentive to, right? The draft is such a trade-rich time because there's incentive. Well, now there's no incentive for the Niners to trade Aiyuk, let's say 3 weeks before the season. Unless maybe somebody gets hurt or there's a really good player available to them, then, okay, yeah, you do a trade. If suddenly Patrick Surtain is available to you and Aiyuk is not showing up and insisting on, and you're not even anywhere close on money, okay, I guess you could do it. I just think, you know, the people that, and I think a lot of people, I think the internet would love that trade. The internet would be like, oh, the Niners just got Patrick Surtain for, I guess I'd have to learn whether it's Surtain or Surtain at that point. Surtain. But your offense gets immediately worse. And not only immediately worse, you don't plug and play Ricky Pearsall gets worse. Deebo Samuel gets worse. George Kittle gets worse. Everybody gets worse if you take Brandon Aiyuk off the field. So if you want Ricky Pearsall to be a Brandon Aiyuk substitute or eventual replacement or a Debo eventual replacement, you got to give him an environment to succeed early. And the best environment for Ricky Pearsall to succeed early, in my opinion, is not Ricky Pearsall out there getting 65 targets as the number one receiving option. The best environment for Ricky Pearsall to ultimately survive is to go out there and get 35 targets on a Super Bowl team with Brandon Aiyuk and Debo Samuel getting all of the attention. I mean, that's the answer. That's the answer. But, which reminds me that let me get these numbers for you. This is interesting. Yesterday, I said that I thought my early guess on Ricky Pearsall targets would be 28. And I woke up this morning and one of the first things I thought was, I don't know if I like that number. But check out this. This is incredible research here. Josh Dubow, who I referenced yesterday, and I saw it at practice and always loved chatting with Josh from the Associated Press. He was on the show a few weeks ago. Just a really sharp guy. And he gave me this information. Check this out. From 2014 to 2023, there were 43 receivers taken in the first round. Of those 43 receivers, only 8 of them had less than 39 targets. Okay. 8 of the 43 receivers from 2014 to 2023 had less than 39 targets their rookie year. Now, think about that. Just think to yourself, is Ricky Pearsall going to get 40 targets this year? I'll go back to yesterday. Aiyuk got you got 22% of the targets. Kittle got 19. Debo got 19. McCaffrey got 18%. Juwan Jennings was 5th on the team with 33 targets in the regular season. So Ricky Pearsall is going to have to come in and get more targets than Juwan Jennings. And it's not like there's a big hole from somebody who departed. The most targets from a player who's no longer on the Niners last year is Ray McCloud, who only got 15. So we're talking about Ricky Pearsall getting 2.5 times Ray's targets if he's going to have more than 40, have 40 or more. So let's go back to the stat. 43 receivers, 2014 to 2023. Only 8 of them had 39 targets or less. So you draft a guy in the first round, we're feeding you, right? We might be a bad team, but we're feeding you. We're feeding you. We're feeding you. It's not a good list of guys that had 39 targets or less. N'Keal Harry, Mike Williams, Jameson Williams, Josh Doxson, who had 6, Laquan Treadwell, who had 3, and John Ross, who had 2. The only guys who had less targets than John Ross his rookie year are Kevin White and Brashad Perriman, who didn't play. So if Ricky Pearsall rolls out and gets 30 targets, he's trying to be an outlier. He's trying to be an outlier. All right, let's get to some comments here because I looked away and Jonas says, "Guy, you need to get off Debo Island and realize Pearsall will be the number 2 receiver in 2024." Why? Why is that going to happen? Among the big questions 40 days from now, can Ricky Pearsall actually get open? I don't know. It's one thing when people go hard for rookies. It's another thing when people go hard for rookies on a team that's stacked with talent. One of the most talented teams in the league. I mean, if Ricky Pearsall is the number 2 receiver on this team, then things have gone very sideways. Last Second Sports, Jesse says, I think he needs to play 6 games to accrue. He's talking about Brandon Aiyuk. That is correct. 6 games for Brandon Aiyuk to ensure that. So, I mean, really, he could sit out till, like whatever, week 12, week 11. to avoid not having the year count towards his free agency. But nobody does it. Decent News says, guy, I'm playing Old Greenwood next week. Have you played? Any tips? No, I've not played Old Greenwood in Truckee. Good luck. 49ers Sports Talk says in the comments, 35 to 40 catches for Pearsall, 600 plus yards. Debo will miss games like he always does. Debo sneaky misses less games than you think he does. 35 to 40 catches is going to take, I don't know, 65 targets. I mean, you need a lot of injury for that to happen. Let's go. Well, yeah, let me look at my guy, Debo Samuel here. How many games put in your head how many games Debo's missed? I would say in the last 2 years, Debo's missed six games. Well, that actually would be a lot. Let's see. 2 this year, but really 1 because week 17. Played 13 games in 22. Played 16 games the year before. Yeah. So for just so you know, Debo has had 60 plus catches twice, 57 catches his rookie year, 35 catches for Ricky Pearsall. That'd be one of those things where you go, oh, that's pretty good. And also, wait, how did that happen? Francis says, can you please ask Kamla too how he pronounces his name? Hufunga and Puni should know too. I hear everyone butchering it. Well, how are you hearing people say it, Francis? I said what it became was that it was Latu instead of Latu. I thought it was Latu, but then last year they said it was Latu. So I don't know. What is this? Used to be that too. Did they change is it not 6 anymore? Season games to accrue. Let's do a little Google. All right. Well, let's go with 6. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, 6. 6 not a lot. Honestly, 6 is, I'm surprised it's not more. Feels like it should be more. A few other things I mentioned, some of the questions, that we'll be asking 40 games from now. Which running back? Cody Schrader. Is Cody Schrader going to be a guy? Is Isaac Garendo going to be a guy? I think it's, well, let's see. These are the questions. I think Schrader might be better and more ready to contribute as a running back for the 49ers. So is he? Is Elijah Mitchell going to be on the team? Do we consider is this going to be a redshirt year for Jacob Cowing? That's definitely one of my questions. I already used one of them here. Can Ricky Pearsall get open when the coaches aren't terrified of getting you remember the Diamador Lenore fine? You remember when Diamador Lenore posted a video watching practice tape and the video was of him jamming a receiver at the line of scrimmage, just like super physical man-to-man coverage. And the 49ers lost a pick, or maybe, I don't remember how many, a pick. Or Kyle Shanahan got fined $100,000 for that. So now everybody already was, but they're very sensitive about not letting guys, get physical in minicamp. So can Ricky Pearsall get open for real? We'll see. Is Fred Warner going to have to carry the linebacker group himself? Somebody asked, any interviews on KJ Wright? I haven't seen a KJ Wright interview. I did see KJ Wright, and he looks like he could still play. Maybe he has to. Is outside corner 2? We may get to the season, and it's like locked down who the 3 corners are: Mooney Ward, and Diamador Lenore, and Ike Yadam. The other outside corner spot with Diamador Lenore at the nickel. Who's the center? Do they have one? Who's tight end 2? Doesn't even matter. I was going back and forth with Dubal. Like, okay, if Ricky Pearsall is going to have more than 28 catches, or targets, if he's going to have, what did I say? 28 targets, 28 catches, 28 catches. If he's going to have 28, well, I said targets, but whatever. If he's going to have more targets or catches, where are they coming from? Right. And this is why I don't think, like the Logan Thomas signing, it feels like it should be interesting, but whose targets is he getting? Obviously, all this goes out the window if somebody gets hurt, which is a real possibility. It's football. I heard PJ Fleck, the Minnesota coach, say that the other day. Like when a player gets hurt, I'm going to say it. It sounds more insensitive than it was, but like a player gets hurt, you go, yeah, of course the player got hurt. It's football. So, who is QB2? Does it, again, like tight end 2? Does it matter? The answer is, of course it matters. Your quarterback might get hurt. Tight end 2 really matter. Talking too fast today. Quarterback 2 really matters, but it matters for a game or 2, and then it's too many games for a backup quarterback. Jesse says, I think if Pearsall gets that much burn, then it was a down season for Aiyuk or Debo. Not sure that's great for the 49ers Super Bowl chances this year. I 1000% agree. Not only is it a down season for Aiyuk or Debo, I think it's an injury season for those guys. Their floors are high. They have high floors when it comes to a 17-week. Kyle's going to get them the ball. Purdy's going to get them the ball. They're just, the defensive coordinator is up at night thinking about Debo and McCaffrey. So, if Ricky gets 39, what was that? Was that targets or catches? Whatever it was. If he's getting a lot, it's because something went sideways. This is the year for him to build confidence. This is the year for him to develop his skills. This is the year for him to learn the offense, learn all 3 spots, the wide receiver position. This is the year for him to figure out how to get open, to develop a relationship with Brock, to stay healthy, to learn what it means to be a pro, right? To not run out of gas, to be a good teammate, to earn and continue to earn the respect of his teammates, give the 49ers confidence that maybe they have some flexibility in the future with the receivers, to not get beat out by Jacob Cowing, to learn from, maybe this is his last year learning from Debo. Maybe this is last year learning from Brandon Aiyuk, to develop as a blocker, but learn from these all pro level, Pro Bowl level players he's got around him. It's not the year to go catch 50 balls or 30 balls. And to be ready, to stay locked in, to be focused. He might get 28 targets, but they might come in big spots. That's what this year's about for Ricky Pearsall. Every once a day, someone's like, could he have a Puka-like year? Yeah, if the Niners want to battle for the wild card. Not if they want to win a Super Bowl. It's been my mantra this week. All right? Just because you're getting paid doesn't make you a pro. Aiyuk's a pro. Debo's a pro. Kittle's a pro. Juszczyk's a pro. Purdy is a pro. Fred Warner's a pro. Bosa, pro. Trent Williams, super pro. Rolls-Royce, electric Rolls-Royce in the parking lot, pro. And nobody goes like, I don't know, can he afford it? Should he have spent that much money on an electric Rolls-Royce? Pro. Ricky Pearsall, getting a paycheck. All right. Renard Green, getting a paycheck. They are professional football. They are officially on that tax return, says professional football player. But they'll still learning how to be a pro. a championship level pro. I love when that comes up. What if Trent Taylor beats out all these other guys? Well, what all these other guys? I mean, to me, it's like Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell, because Trent Taylor might be the most trustworthy returner. Comment, learn Kyle's Dead Sea Scrolls worth of a playbook. I've floated in the Dead Sea, covered my body in the mud of the Med, and I did not see his playbook. Griffin asks, do you think McCaffrey's body can hold up all season if he's the feature of this offense once again? I think we featured Debo because he's going to be on the market next season. They already featured Debo. I think McCaffrey's body can hold up. Yeah, I mean, Debo gets plenty of feature, especially when he's healthy. Now Christian has taken some of his shine. There's no question about it, but I think it makes the team better. So yes, I do think Christian's body can hold up. I hope it does. All right. Was that all the stuff I want to talk about today? Yeah, that was. All right. This is a fun little Thursday night. Thanks for jumping in here tonight or listening to this podcast after the fact. I'm sure there's stuff I haven't mentioned that I want to get to, but since someone always does this, let's do this. Mike says, if the Niners increase their pass attempts to the league median, there would be another 4 times 17 targets over the course of the season. 68 more targets if you add 4 and then you multiply by 17. That's great. I mean, if that's the case, then some of those might go to Ricky Pearsall. Some of them might go to Logan Thomas then. Maybe some more go to Kittle. Keep in mind, new kickoff return rules this year. The estimate is that you're going to lose 4 offensive plays about per team per game. So the guess is you're going to lose like 7 to 8 offensive plays total per game, because instead of the ball getting touchback and the clock not running, you're going to have the clock run on kickoff returns much more often. So you're talking about passes, not total plays, but now you were talking about the number of plays is coming down and the number of passes is going up. So the percentage is going to be disproportionate even to what these numbers make it feel like. But yeah, it's possible they throw the ball more. That's definitely possible. All right. If you're watching this video, thanks. Hit that like button. Everybody jumping in here. Appreciate y'all. And hit them straight on the links this weekend if you're doing that. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye.